there, welcome back to Sport and 7. I'm Tom Bushell. You can get me on Twitter at Tom Bushell UAE if you are looking. Okay, let's look back on sport over the last week in the UAE. Here is Chris McHardy. Yeah, back outside to talk sport over the last 7 days in the UAE. Glorious sunshine here in Dubai, still very warm, however, but we like to get outside. And as ever, Chris McHardy, Sport 360, is here to talk about what's been going on over the last week. Fabulous shirt once again, Chris. We'll get to the swimming in just a bit, but first of all, the tennis, the Abu Dhabi Mubadala World Tennis Championship lineup has been announced, and it's a strong one. 3 of the past champions, but no Roger Federer.
No Roger Federer, and in many respects that's kind of taken over the announcement of the lineup. Roger Federer, of course, he's been here the past 4 years. He's gone on record numerous times before saying he loves starting his season in the UAE capital, but he's missing. Organisers have said that, as you rightly point out, it is a celebration of past champions, a celebration of youth, which, with Roger Federer turning 31 this year, means there is no place for him now. Of course, the interesting intrigue surrounding this story is that Roger Federer recently left IMG, who of course are the organisers of the event. But they insist that that's nothing to do with it. Roger Federer, he's a wonderful ambassador for the game, and his mission from the tournament is simply to do with giving youth a chance. And as you rightly point out, Andy Murray, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, it really does not get much stronger than that.
It is 6 of the world's top 9 competing in Abu Dhabi in December, which will be amazing. Strong year for Andy Murray, of course. So that's going to be good to see him over here and competing again. And he'll be hoping for a strong tournament leading into the Australian Open.
Well, very much so. And as a fellow Scot as well, I do certainly hope he does well. Of course, the inaugural champion in 2009, Andy Murray, organisers have made a point of welcoming him back to Abu Dhabi. You know, he's a wonderful, wonderful player, and it has to be said he is the man of the moment in tennis. Of course, that Olympic gold medal, and then going on to end a 75-year wait for British men's tennis with that US Open victory. So he's a big name, and in many respects that softens the blow of not seeing the world number 1, the Swiss maestro Roger Federer, in action.
Who do you think will take the title?
I'll stick with my Scottish heritage and say Andy Murray.
Big names in the tennis world, but also some big names in the swimming world in the country over the last 7 days in Dubai for the start of the FINA Arena Swimming World Cup 2012. It goes all over the world over the next 6 weeks or so. Obviously, we had Chad and Cameron on the show earlier on. And great to see that sport doing well here in Dubai.
Very much so, Tom, and I think it's coming off the back of a really successful Olympic Games in London as well. As you rightly say, Chad le Clos, who of course beat Michael Phelps, the great Olympian, over that 200-metre butterfly. He's been in the country this week alongside his compatriot Cameron van der Berg. But really the big story that we're all missing out is Katinka Hosszu, the Hungarian woman. 7 individual gold medals alongside another gold medal in the team medley, and that's wonderful for ladies swimming, and it's been a real successful event that's been well turned out by the fans as well.
Interesting to mention that medley. It was the first time that they, on the World Cup stage, have done the mixed medley, which is a fascinating race to watch because you have guys up against girls, and you can never really tell who's going to win the race up until the final 20 or so metres, because it's so hard to gauge where people are, where teams are. It's a fantastic event, and good to see it back in Dubai. Okay, so swimming and also tennis done. Let's talk about football. Another big weekend of the Pro League, actually, and some fantastic games. It's been a remarkable season so far, hasn't it?
Unbelievable start to the season, Tom. I think it's 3.86 goals a game we're already averaging. I know we're only obviously 4 games into the new season, but a wonderful spectacle. And I guess the big result from the weekend, Al Ain smashing Al Dhafra 7-0, and a wonderful debut as well for Alex Brosk. It's a man we've mentioned obviously on the show over the past few weeks. He made his debut, come on and scored, but I guess the big story, Asamoah Gyan, a hat-trick, his first in UAE football. It's now 7 goals in just the 3 games this season for the Ghanaian, and a great start. But that's not the only story. Of course, Al Nassr maintaining their unbeaten start to the season. They had beat Al Shabab 4-2, and Jazeera as well, coming off the back of that opening day defeat against Nasser. They've now made it 2 wins out of 2, with Ricardo Oliveira netting 2 against Ajman.
Thinking about the amount of goals that are going in at Al Ain this season, it's the opening game was 6-3 to Al Akli at Al Ain, 7-0 this weekend. Fantastic for the fans.
It's unbelievable, and it's something we've discussed about getting the attendances up. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, that stat, 3.86 goals per game, is unbelievable. And interestingly enough, doing some research as well, just 2 clean sheets last season in the entire Pro League. So if you're looking for entertainment, I suggest to the viewers to get down there and really get behind these clubs, because there's some wonderful attacking play. The likes of Asamoah Gyan, Ricardo Oliveira, some big names in the country, and let's get behind the local football league.
No, it definitely is worth a watch if you like your football. It's a fantastic season and lots to come, of course. Chris McHardy from Sport 360, thanks so much. We'll have the same again next weekend. Let's look at the big results of the week then and start with golf. South Africa's Brandon Grace won the Dunhill Links Championship by 2 shots with a record equaling 22 under par total. Grace, who's 24, led from the first round to capture his 5th title of the year. Formula 1 and Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel took a dominant victory in the Japanese Grand Prix to put himself in a strong position to win the world title for a 3rd year running. Championship leader Fernando Alonso of Ferrari retired on the first lap and had to watch as Vettel cut his lead to 4 points. Alonso suffered a puncture when he was hit from behind by Lotus's Kimi Raikkonen. Ferrari's Felipe Massa took 2nd ahead of Sauber's Kamui Kobayashi. So in the standings, Alonso's lead now just 4 points as Vettel chases him down. The rest of the pack, including Hamilton and Raikkonen, starting to slip away. Tennis, and number 1 seed Novak Djokovic has won the China Open, beating Joe Wilfried Tsonga 7-6, 7-4, 6-2 in Beijing. The world number 2 lost just 1 set on his way to winning his 4th title of the year, his 3rd China Open. And in the T20 World Cup, a Marlon Samuels-inspired West Indies recovered from an awful start to beat Sri Lanka and win the World 2020. The hosts looked to be in control in Colombo when the Windies managed only 32 from the first 10 overs, with Chris Gale taking 16 balls to make 3. But Samuels smashed 6 sixes in his 56-ball 78 to drag his side to 137 for 6. I have to say, well done to the West Indies. What a win that was in the T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka. Also, looks like Sebastian Vettel could well win his 3rd F1 championship in a row. Amazing, really, isn't it? Very exciting end to the season to come. And, of course, the F1 pitches up in the UAE for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the start of November. That wraps up Sport on 7 this week. More sport for you next time out. I'm Tom Bushell. Have a good one. Goodbye.